Introduction to work task concepts. This is what we will be talking in today's presentation. Introduction to work task concepts. It's the job that has been basically been fragmented into work, probably further fragmented into tasks, been further been fragmented into activities. So basically, how much fragmentation we can do and how much specialities that we can go around it, so that it becomes an error-free work altogether, and the end products and the reliability becomes much more effective and 100% at times. So work task concepts, let us understand what is it. It is the way that we break it down. Did I say about the job that needs to be broken down to work, that needs to be broken down into tasks and then further been fragmented into activities. So process of breaking down or analyzing the task in a smaller and more detailed constituent units and of then sequencing this units of analysis in order of priority based on the importance of learning is what the work task concepts will be all about. It is, we are talking about analysis and synthesis. What is analysis? Is breaking down the work and then prioritizing around it. Is once you prioritize, then you get going with the synthesis part or get going with implementing it. So approaches is task decomposition. It's splitting task into ordered subtask methods. Knowledge based techniques, what the users knows about the task and how the knowledge is to be organized. Entity relations based analysis. This is relationship based on objectives, actions in the tasks thereby. So there are three approaches: task wise, knowledge wise, and entity relation based analysis is all about it. So we are looking into it, how we can split the tasks, how can we fragment the knowledge, how can it be organized in a better fashion, and probably at times at the relationship between the object and the action that needs to be understood before we go ahead with the approaches. And that is what we will be talking about. I hope it is very clear with all of us. Now let us begin with the task analysis. What exactly is the task analysis? Number, first and foremost thing, it's a method of analyzing people's job as the case might be. This is what we are trying to go around. Now, people's job, what do they do actually? What things they work with, what they must know in order to clean the house, get the vacuum cleaner out, fix the appropriate attachment and clean the rooms. When the dust bag gets full, empty it. When the vacuum cleaner has been done away, please keep it away. So you must know about vacuum cleaners, their attachment, the dust bags, the cupboard, the rooms, etc. So this is what task analysis is all about. It what people do, what things they work with, and what they must do. So basically, in order to clean a house, get a vacuum cleaner out, fix the appropriate attachment, clean the rooms, get the dust bag full. Whenever the gets full, empty it, put the vacuum cleaner tools away. So you must know about everything, and that is what task analysis is all about. It. Yes, this is what we are talking around. So generating hierarchy is getting a list of tasks, group tasks into higher level of tasks, decompose the lowest level tasks further, knowing what to do, how they do it. It is approximately how do you break up each task into subtasks or activities as the case might be, knowing what to do, what they do, why they do. A task analysis is an intensive examination of how people perform work activities. Task is a discrete unit of work performed by an individual. It has a definitive beginning and definitive ending. Subtasks, the smallest step into which a work activity can be divided. Elements, a step within a step. There's a separate time motion. Task listing, a list of action done in the work as the case might be. And that is what we are looking into it. From tasks to subtasks to elements. And task listing is a list of action. So this is what we are looking at. We have a task, then probably subtasks or activities. Every activities has their own elements, as in the part of the activities which has a separate time motion thing, and task listing is a list of the action that can be done in the work around here, and that is how it the task analysis work around it. Let us understand the task, job roles, and the skills. The process of analysis being plotted on a y-axis. Remember the process, and And the level one, what you are going around it. So you have the unit of analysis that comes around it, and then there will be a fragment of unit and probably fragment, and before you see what has been done as a high skilled or low skilled and enabled things. So in level two, what will happen is I am just trying to give you a figurative example, and that is the reason why this has not been filled in. And in level two, you have brought in the units of work into a fragmented unit of task. Again, I have not mentioned out here, just not to make it very cluttered around it. In level 3, I will actually, this can go for level 2 also, for this particular task also. Probably have taken one of the units and then fragmented it into a different thing. So we have task or job, the unit of analysis, then a subunit, and fragmented unit thereby. So this is what we are going across in level 4. Again, this continues every now and then. Remember, the top font would be the less detailed, and in the bottom front, it will be the more detailed work that needs to be accomplished, and this is how it needs to be understood. So uh, everybody who have understood this particular slide would be able to comprehend the full lectures altogether, tasks, job, or skills analysis that comes around it. So task analysis, a step-by-step process, how to go around it, explain why, demonstrate how, set learning activities, provide guidance, study skills, advance organizers, assess performances and understanding, and provide formative feedback as on when on basis, which goes about it. We look to forward everything that needs to be taken care out here. That is what we are attaining all the time. So principle of task analysis. What are the principles that comes around it? Task analysis is accomplished by making succeeding levels of analysis that goes around it. Remember, succeeding levels of analysis. Each level of analysis produces its own units of work as for my previous presentation or slides have been concerned, where there was a pictographical representation that has been done, and this is just an elaboration, and each succeeding level of analysis is more detailed than the other one before it, which it derives from. Remember, each level of analysis and associate units of analysis follow logically and progressively, which precedes them. So it's one by one, one by one, which goes around it, and that can be there n numbers of time that is there. So this is what the principle of task analysis is all about. In the top, it is less details, but in by the time it comes into the bottom part, it becomes in absolute very well detailed. It is, which will tell it to you in black and white what is to be done and what is to be avoided, and that is what task analysis is all about it. Remember, when considering a task analysis, you should always ask yourself, what duties does the job entails, as in what are the things that you need to do around it, what tasks are performed in each duties, what are the sub activities that have been done, what elements of each task are there, what are the acts and action that goes up to make an element. So these are things that needs to be accounted for, has to be ensured, has to be uh, taken into consideration as on when on basis. Remember, this is what we are looking forward to absolutely by the end of the day. Types of task analysis. Let us proceed with the types of task analysis. One is a topic analysis, which is a detailed analysis of intellectual tasks. Let's say the Ohm laws or solving equations. So basically, tells it to you if there are certain requirements, it will give everything about that particular topic. It's a scientific thing. In terms of job analysis, what happens is a detailed analysis of tasks involved in physical and psychomotor skills. What is psychomotor skills? Is the ability that you work with your equipment. So it's concentrated on what is to be done, when it is to be done. For example, setting up a lathe machine or loading a film on a camera that comes around it. And the last one is your skill analysis. First being the topic analysis, job analysis, and the skill analysis. Further analyzes the psychomotor skills, but concentrating how the job is accomplished is what we are looking forward it. Remember, it is a complex, intricate, and subtle hand-eye coordination, and that is what we are looking forward to. It's a detailed analysis of intellectual skills that goes around. So task analysis involves following thing. number first is to identify what needs to be analysis. Now break these tasks down into 4 to 5 or 4 to 8 or 8 to 10 subtasks, as many subtasks as possible. Then it should cover all that. You should ensure that everything has been covered with the area of interest. Draw the subtask as a layered diagram, as has been told in the previous slide. Decide upon the level of details that you want to be decomposing it to. So make conscious decision. Be very clear about what is expected. Continue the decomposition position. Ensure that the decomposition and the numbering are consistent. Present the analysis to someone else who has not been involved in the decomposition, so that they will come up with an objective questions and they will give an out of range viewpoint altogether. So that will help you in designing a better task analysis thereby. Now, people would say, what are the sources of information? I will give you n numbers of sources. It's a 360-degree sources that comes around it. It can be within your internal customer, external customers, vendors, it can be your stakeholders, shareholders, you name it, we have it. So we have a task analysis, let's understand. So the client would be one of the things, the students, the masters, the teachers, the course material, the course exam. So this will be my source of information as to what needs to be covered as such. And I've given you a very simple things in a business proposition also. This works around it. And it might be your shareholders, it can be your vendors, it can be your employees, it can be your customers, it can be your supply chain methods, it can be your inventory or the product specialist, as the case might be. So remember, observations, interview, questionnaire, work, diaries, flame, closed circuit televisions, cameras, job checklist, activity list will give you abundant results. Remember, this is what we are looking into is as far as training skills are concerned, the methods of learning, the course design, training context, and the assessment method. Essentially, part of your test skills. Now we will go with one by only one about it. Let's say go with the course design and not the traditional one, systematic one, wherein we will talk about these many methods from which analysis can be done into task, need, entry behavior, resource analysis, constraint. From a need, it can be determining goal, ordering goal, measuring needs, and decoding priorities. So let us come to the measuring needs as a purpose, input, list of goals, staff, method, output. You look what has happened is it's getting in detail productions of the training skills that comes around it. We can fragment it with any of the work activities, any of the activities, you name it, and we there are subunits that goes around it. Let me give you a example before we wind it up altogether. Let's say job is to wiring a plug. So what are the duties that comes around it? We just need to wire a plug. So color code, preparation, lead, attach, and safety checks. So we need to go for color coding, what needs to be positive, which needs to be negative, which needs to be earthed, or prepare the leads, attach the leads, and so on and so forth. So tasks will be new code, remove cover, twist standards, polarity checks needs to be done. Then comes the old code. So remove the other installations, route the leads, security leads and facts that comes around it. Then comes twinning of the flex, identifying terminals, wrapping the leads. Probably that comes around it. Cuts the leads off, tighten the products, and replace the cover. So simple things about just wiring a plug. There's so many work, the duties, the tasks that can be fragmented, and everything can be documented. Now this will ensure that you are having a wonderful time as far as your um, as far as having 100% productivity rate that comes around it. So then comes the stripping the legs and securing the gripper. So let us now give another examples, cognitive examples in terms of a mathematical problem. Let's say multiplying two numbers or dividing a number with another non-zero number, subtracting one number from another, or finding a which is power to the b. So finding the characteristic mantissa of the two numbers, adding the logarithms, anti-logging the sums, and so on and so forth. So we have so many points that comes around it that needs to be taken care of. So fixing the decimal point in case if it is a division things, connecting, answering to the appropriate numbers of significant figures. We have, remember, we are only going from 1.1.1 from finding the mantis of two numbers, locating the first two significant figures of each numbers in the left hand column in the log table, probably locating the third figures. So in case if we are doing it through a log table, how do we go around it? And locating the fourth figures to add columns, headed 0 to 9, right hand side of the page as the case might be. This is what we are looking for it. So let us come and broadly give you the rules of sequencing of any task that needs to be arranged. First, from known to unknown, first prioritize what you all know, so that is under the decisions under certainty, and then we slowly move towards the unknown or uncertainty. Proceed from simple to difficult, concrete to abstract, observations to reasoning. First observe and then probably come to a reasoning, and follow the correct chronological orders. Again, chronological orders is known to unknown, simple to difficult, concrete to abstract, observations to reasoning, and chronological orders. This being the last slide, please understand the benefits, the advantages, the outcome of task analysis, which helps you in designing your lesson, making sure you've received all what the learners is required, making sure that all fundamental parts of the job topic, everything has been covered, ensuring the test questions, test procedures, where skills are involved, helping you to formulate the objective as the case might be. This is very pertinent for you to understand as far as the introduction to work task concepts are concerned. With this few words, I would love to wind up this presentation. I am sure most of you have enjoyed this presentation. Thank you for watching this video.